Diablo II is an action role-playing hack-and-slash video game developed by Blizzard North and published by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004, Microsoft Windows and Mac OS. The game, with its dark fantasy and horror themes, was conceptualized and designed by David Brevik and Erich Schaefer, who with Max Schaefer acted as project leads on the game. The producers were Matthew Householder and Bill Roper. Building on the success of its predecessor Diablo, Diablo II was one of the most popular games of 2000. Major factors that contributed to Diablo II's success include its continuation of popular fantasy themes from the previous game and its access to Blizzard's free online play service Battle.net. An expansion to Diablo II, Diablo II: Lord of Destruction, was released in 2001. A sequel, Diablo III, was announced in 2008, and was released on May 15, 2012. Gameplay: Diablo II's storyline progresses through 4 chapters or acts. Each act follows a more or less predetermined path. Although there is some random level generation in wilderness areas and dungeons between key cities, the player progresses through the story by completing a series of quests within each act, with optional quests providing additional rewards. In contrast to the first Diablo, whose levels consisted of descending deeper and deeper into a Gothic-themed dungeon and hell, Diablo II's environments are much more varied. Act 1, Rogue Encampment, is a simple palisade fort placed between plains and forests and is similar to the original Diablo. Act 2, Loot Go Line, mimics Canaan Desert, while Act 3, Kurast, is supposedly based on the Maya civilization jungles. Act 4 takes place in Hell and is the shortest, with just 3 quests compared to the other acts that have 6. The Lord of Destruction expansion adds Act 5, which continues the story where Act 4 left off. Act 5's style is mainly mountainous as the player ascends Mount Arid, with ice tunnels, caverns in the mountains, as well as hellish subterranean pits for extra monsters and experience. After reaching the summit of Arid, the player gains access to the world's Stone Keep. In addition to the acts, there are 3 sequential difficulty levels: Normal, Nightmare, and Hell. Completing the game on a difficulty setting will open up the next level. On higher difficulties, monsters are stronger and may be resistant or immune to an element or physical damage. Experience is penalized on dying, and the player's resistances are handicapped. However, better items are awarded to players as they go through higher difficulties. A character retains all abilities and items between difficulties, and may return to a lower difficulty at any time. Players can create a hardcore character. In normal mode, the player can resurrect their character if killed and resume playing, while a hardcore character has only 1 life. If killed, the character is permanently dead and unplayable, and all items and equipment on that character will be lost unless another friendly character has the loot icon checked. Item system: Diablo II uses a system of randomly generated equipment similar to the original Diablo, but more complicated. Weapons and armor are divided into several quality levels: normal, magical, set, rare and unique. Normal quality items are base items with a fixed set of basic properties, such as attribute requirements, maximum durability, armor rating, block chance and damage, and attack speed. Magical quality items have violet names and 1 or 2 randomly selected bonuses, such as bonuses, attributes, skills or damage, indicated by a prefix or suffix. Rare quality items have randomly generated yellow names and 2 to 6 random properties. Unique quality items have fixed names in gold text, and instead of randomized properties, they have a set of 3 to 8 pre-selected properties. Green named set items have fixed names and pre-selected properties like unique items, and belong to specific named sets of 2 to 6 items, as well as possessing additional properties known as set bonuses, which are activated by equipping multiple items from the same set. These are themed on individuals, like Sivub's Cudgel, Shield and Amulet. Each provide individual bonuses which are enhanced if 2 or more of the items are used to equip a character. It is unusual to encounter more than one item from a set in a single playthrough of the game, so collectors need to play the game many times to accumulate all items from a set. Additionally, items can possess sockets, which can be used to upgrade items by adding gems for various bonuses. Diablo II includes an item crafting system. An item known as the Erich cube is used to combine specific recipes of 2 or more items to create a new item. For example, 3 identical lower-quality gems can be combined to create a single higher-quality gem, and 3 small rejuvenation potions can be combined to create a single, more powerful rejuvenation potion. Character classes. Diablo II allows the player to choose between 5 different character classes: Amazon, Necromancer, Barbarian, Sorceress, and Paladin. Each character has different strengths and weaknesses and sets of skills to choose from, as well as varying beginning attributes. The maximum level that any character can obtain is level 99. The Amazon is akin to the Rogue of Diablo. Both primarily use bows, and both make equal use of strength and magic. However, the Amazon can also use javelins and spears. Many of her defensive skills are passive in nature, especially dodge, avoid, and evade. The Amazon is voiced by Jessica Strauss. The Necromancer is a versatile death-themed spellcaster. Necromancers are the priests of the cult of Rathma from the eastern jungles. His summoning skills allow him to raise skeletons, create golems, and resurrect dead monsters to fight alongside him. The Necromancer possesses powerful poison spells, which rapidly drain life from afflicted monsters. He also has bone skills, which directly damage enemies, while bypassing most resistances. His curses also afflict the enemy with debilitating status ailments, sowing confusion and chaos in their ranks. The Necromancer is voiced by Michael McConaughey. The Barbarian is a powerful melee fighter from the steppes of Mount Arid. He is an expert at frontline combat, able to absorb great punishment, and is the only class capable of dual-wielding weapons. His combat masteries allow him to specialize in different types of weapons, and also passively increase his resistance, speed, and defense. His war cries dramatically increase the combat effectiveness of him and his party, as well as afflicting status ailments on enemies. He has a variety of combat skills at his command, most of which focus on delivering great force upon a single foe, while some also give him considerable athleticism, allowing him to leap over chasms and rivers. The Barbarian is voiced by David Thomas. The Sorceress hails from a rebellious coven of female witches who have wrested the secrets of magic use from the male-dominated mage clans of the East. She can cast ice, lightning and fire spells. Nearly all of these skills are offensive in nature, besieging the enemy with elemental calamity. Her cold skills can freeze enemies solid and bypass resistances, but do less damage than lightning or fire. The Sorceress's teleport spell allows her to instantly travel to a new destination, making her very difficult to hit. The strong point of the Sorceress is her damaging spells and casting speed. Her weakness is her relatively low hit points and defense. The Sorceress is voiced by Liana Young. The Paladin is a crusader from the Church of Zakaram, fighting for the glory of the light. He is part of the forces that defeated King Erich's army in the first Diablo, although his order is eventually corrupted by Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred. To reflect his holy nature, the Zealous Paladin's combat skills range from fanatical attacks to heavenly thunderbolts. His skills are split into combat skills, defensive auras, and offensive auras. His auras have a range of abilities, such as increasing damage, or resisting magic attacks, or boosting defense. The Paladin's auras affect all party members. The Paladin is highly proficient in the use of a shield, and is the only character that can use it as a weapon. The Paladin also has specialized skills for eliminating the undead. The Paladin is voiced by Larry B. Scott. Two additional character classes, the Druid and Assassin, were added in the expansion. The player can enlist the help of one hireling from a mercenary captain in the town, the Rogue Scouts, Desert Mercenaries, Iron Wolves, and Barbarians, from Acts I, II, III, and V. The expansion allows players to retain their mercenary throughout the entire game, as well as equipping them with armor and weapons. Hirelings gain experience and attributes like the player, although their level cannot surpass that of their master character. Typically, players choose a hireling that provides something missing from their character class. For instance, the melee-focused Paladin may choose a rogue for missile support. Multiplayer Diablo II can be played multiplayer on a LAN or Battle.net. Unlike the original Diablo, Diablo II was made specifically with online gaming in mind. Several spells multiply their effectiveness if they are cast within a party, and although dungeons still exist, they were largely replaced by open spaces. Multiplayer is achieved through Blizzard's Battle.net free online service, or via a LAN. Battle.net is divided into open and closed realms. Players may play their single-player characters on open realms. Characters in closed realms are stored on Blizzard's servers as a measure against cheating, where they must be played every 90 days to avoid expiration. Originally, these closed realms served their purpose of preventing cheating, as open games were subject to many abuses as the characters were stored on players' own hard drives. Within the last few years, however, many cheats are used on these closed realms. Hacks, bots, and programs which allow the player to run multiple instances of the game at the same time are not allowed by Blizzard but are very commonly used. Spam bots run rampant on the service, and a player hosting a public game can expect a visit from one every few minutes. Due to the surplus of virtual items provided by the automated bots, which repeatedly kill bosses to obtain items, supply is well in excess of demand, and items which used to trade well are now often given away for nothing. As the game can be played cooperatively, groups of players with specific sets of complementary skills can finish some of the game's climactic battles in a matter of seconds, providing strong incentives for party-oriented character builds. Up to 8 players can be in one game. They can either unite as a single party, play as individuals, or form multiple opposing parties. Experience gained, monsters' hit points and damage, and the number of items dropped are all increased as more players join the game, though not in a strictly proportional manner. Players are allowed to duel each other, with all damage being reduced in player versus player. The bounty for a successful kill in PvP is a portion of the gold in the ear of the defeated player. The ladder system can be reset at various intervals to allow for all players to start fresh with new characters on an equal footing. Ladder seasons have lasted from as short as 6 months to over a year. When a ladder season ends, all ladder characters are transferred to the non-ladder population. Certain rare items are available only within ladder games, although they can be traded for and exchanged on non-ladder after the season has ended. The game has been patched extensively. The precise number of patches is impossible to determine, as Battle.net has the capability of making minor, server-side patches to address immediate issues. The game is currently in version 1.13D. The latest major patch was released on March 23, 2010. Through the patch history, several exploits and issues have been addressed, as well as major revamps to the game's balance. Not all patches have affected Diablo II directly, as several were designed to address issues in the expansion to the game and had minimal effects on Diablo II. Plot: Diablo II takes place after the end of the previous game of Diablo, in the world of Sanctuary. In Diablo, an unnamed warrior defeated Diablo and attempted to contain the Lord of Terror's essence within his own body. Since then, the hero has become corrupted by the demon spirit, causing demons to enter the world around him and wreak havoc. a band of adventurers who pass through the rogue encampment hear these stories of destruction and attempt to find out the cause of the evil. Starting with this corrupted Dark Wanderer, as the story develops, the truth behind this corruption is revealed. The Soul Stones were originally designed to capture the primevals who were banished to the mortal realm after being overthrown by the lesser evils. With the corruption of Diablo's Soul Stone, the demon is able to control the Dark Wanderer. The Soul Stone of another demon, Baal, was united with the mage Tal Rasha, who volunteered to absorb Baal's spirit in his own body and be imprisoned in a tomb. As the story progresses, cutscenes show the Dark Wanderer's journey as a drifter named Marius follows him. The player realizes that the Dark Wanderer's mission is to reunite with the other primevals, Baal and Mephisto. The story is divided up into 4 acts. Act 1. The adventurers rescue Cain, who is imprisoned in Tristram, and then begin following the Dark Wanderer. The Dark Wanderer has one of the lesser evils, Andariel, corrupt the Sisters of the Sightless Eye and take over their monastery. The adventurers overcome Andariel and then follow the Wanderer east. Act 2. While the adventurers search the eastern desert for Tal Rasha's tomb, the Dark Wanderer gets there first. Marius is tricked into removing Baal's Soul Stone from Tal Rasha and the Archangel Tyrell charges Marius with taking the Soul Stone to Hell to destroy it. The Dark Wanderer and Baal join with Mephisto, open a portal to Hell, and the Dark Wanderer sheds his human form and becomes the demon Diablo. Act 3. The adventurers find the seat of the Zakarim religion at the Temple of Kuras, where the portal to Hell is located. They defeat Mephisto, who was left guarding the entrance, and take his Soul Stone. Act 4. The adventurers slay Diablo in Hell and destroy the Soul Stones of Mephisto and Diablo on the Hell Forge, preventing their return. In the epilogue, Marius, speaking in a prison cell, indicates he was too weak to enter Hell, and that he fears the stone's effects on him. He gives the Soul Stone to his visitor. The visitor reveals himself to be Baal, the last surviving primeval now in possession of his own Soul Stone. He then kills Marius and sets the prison cell on fire. The story continues in the expansion Diablo II, Lord of Destruction, where Baal attempts to corrupt the mythical World Stone on Mount Arid. Upon returning to the Pandemonium Fortress after defeating Diablo, Tyrell opens a portal to send the adventurers to Arid.